I'm trying to remember. Now I have pencil in hand.
Yeah, so Georgie, I'm recording now. You can write this, please do. And if you don't get it, just remember that these recordings go on YouTube, and some of you know this already. I did create a Survive to Thrive coaching community Facebook group, which means it's private. You have to ask to join, please ask. And let's get that group up over 1,000 people, right? That would be awesome. And all of these videos are available to watch the day of the call. So here it is. It's a 3-step process, Georgie. We're going to pick a property that's sold. It doesn't have to be your listing or the office. It's just a property that's sold. If it's your listing, even better. Now, the 3-step process is to walk the neighborhood or pay someone to walk the neighborhood for you. Hire teenage kids, for example, give them $10 an hour, for example, and put a door hanger on every door. The message is a home in your neighborhood recently sold. There are still buyers that are interested in great homes like yours. Who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? Now, it's branded with your brand, your picture, your contact information. Another call to action could be for an updated market analysis, email blank, blank, blank. Now, I'm going to send out a postcard the same day the door hanger goes up, so that the postcard's going to arrive 2 to 3 days later. The postcard is exactly the same message, and it's your brand, your contact information. And it's exactly the same message. So now the homeowner has gotten the same message from you twice. Then I'm going to call approximately 3 days later, and I'm simply going to say, hey, Georgie, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. I know you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. By the way, the reason we do that is, first of all, you always lead every call with gratitude. Hey, Georgie, John Dietz with Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. The second thing is, immediately they're thinking, oh, great, a sales call. I want to get rid of this person. So you want to overcome that by telling them, I know you're busy and I only need 60 seconds of your time. Don't ask, is this a good time? You're going to hear no. Go right into the reason for my call is because a home in your neighborhood recently sold. Now remember, they've received 2 pieces of information from you by now. So hopefully they're recognizing your name with the same person who put the door hanger on their door and sent them a postcard. So Georgie, the reason for my call is a home in your neighborhood recently sold, which is great news. Our challenge now is there are still buyers who are interested in great homes like yours. And I was just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? That's it. Okay, was that what you were looking for, Georgie?
Yes, that was what I was looking for. Thank you.
You got it. My pleasure. All right, guys, let's get started on today's content. It's 11:10 or 8:10. Holy cow, right? And we are on day 3. I'm going to hit mute, guys, because I'm hearing feedback. And if you want to talk to me, please take yourself off mute and talk. Which I like, by the way, because when I hit mute all, then I feel like I'm talking to myself here. So we're on day 3 of the 24 topics of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And by the way, I want to plug for a friend of mine, James Shaw, who is teaching the 24 topics of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It is a 4-hour class. So if you wanted to get the same information in one 4-hour class, it is available with James Shaw. This will end up being 12 hours, 24 half-hour calls, and you'll have 12 hours of the 24 topics of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So topic number 3, the attack strategy. I love this one. I just love it right there from the beginning because of because of the title. The 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks. Now, I want you to write down the following questions. Now, I changed the words so that it is a question that you are asking yourself versus a question that I am asking you. In other words, the way it is written, question number 1 is, are you clear about your motivation? Don't write that down. Here's what I want you to write down. Am I clear about my motivation? I'm taking a break so that you could write that down, not to get a drink of water. I'm taking a break because I want you to write these questions down. Bunny Trail. This is the journal that I have been using for the last 5 years for everything educational. I have several journals that I write in. This one is nothing but learning-based information. I would encourage you to do something similar. And in that way, you have a resource that you could go back to that has all of your ahas, all of your notes from every class that you've attended, from every training event, from every coaching call that you were on. Okay, the second question I want you to write down is, are my goals big enough to pull me toward them? Are my goals big enough to pull me toward them? Question number 3. Am I caught up in my problems? Question number 4. Am I committed to my goals, and have I articulated my standards in service? Am I committed to my goals, and have I articulated my standards and my service? Remember, a standard is a level of commitment that is non-negotiable. In other words, lead generation standard, 20 conversation. It's a standard. It's not a goal. It's a standard. All right, so I'm going to go to page 71, and I am going to hit mute all again because we have some background noise. And I'm going to first go through all 9 ways that a millionaire real estate agent thinks, and then we're going to dive deep into the first 2. Number 1, think powered by a big why. Think big goals and big models. Think possibilities. Think action. You know, most people, when they're thinking possibilities, let me go back to that for a moment. Most people focus on what is. Focus on what if, not what is. Think possibilities. What if? What if? And then just start writing notes. How big can you think? How big can you get? Why is that important to you? What would your life look like if you did? Think action. Think without fear. Think progress. In other words, this is a journey. It's not a destination. And just because it takes time to arrive at the goal doesn't mean that we're failing. As long as you're moving forward, you're succeeding. Every day, if you're getting a little bit closer to your goal, you're succeeding. Think progress. Think competitively and strategically. Strategically. Play chess, not checkers. When you play chess, you're always thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. Every conversation that I have, every script that I use, talking to a seller, every question, I'm thinking 2 or 3 questions ahead. I'm building to a point. I am thinking strategically. Think standards and think service. Okay, so let's start at the top of page 71. About 1/3 of the, excuse me, about 1/3 of the Think a Million formula is attitude and perspective. When you're looking to change your habits, you need more precise. You need to be more precise and a little more on purpose. More precise, a little bit more on purpose. So let's stop right there. More precise, more precise. Let's go back to perspective. It's an important word. Words matter. When you're reading, really pay attention, because there's gold in this conversation. Think a million, about 1/3 of Think a Million formula is attitude and perspective. Perspective is important. Read The Noticer by Andy Andrews. Yeah, same author as The Traveler's Gift. And read The Noticer by Andy Andrews. You know, he talks about intention in that book. And this is a perspective conversation. And here's what I want to share with you about intention. We all have intention. But intention without actions is the same thing as no intention. What if I were to tell you, I can't believe, and Monica's in the other room, so she'll hear me say this, and cool. What if I told you, I can't believe the way Monica is treating me after all that I intended to do for her? I intended to bring home flowers. I intended to take her out to dinner. I intended to tell her how much I love her. And you would say, well, you idiot, you didn't do any of those things. You only intended to do it. So someone answer this question, take yourself off mute and answer this question. If there are 4 birds, seagulls, we're in Florida, well, some of you are. If there are 4 seagulls sitting on a fishing dock and one of them decides to fly away, how many are left?
4.
You guys are
And
so
they
smart.
all leave.
You guys are so smart. You really are.
He
So
decided to leave.
He didn't leave.
You guys are so smart. You're paying attention. I love that. So there's 4 left, because just because one decided to leave doesn't mean that the bird left. The bird intended to leave. However, unless the bird actually takes action and actually flies away, there are still 4 birds left on the dock. Intention without action is the same thing as no intention at all. Intent, perspective matters. All right, to the bottom of the page. In breaking down the way the millionaire real estate agent thinks into 9 specific categories, two categories, think powered by a big why and think big goals and big models, clearly stood out from the rest of the foundational mindsets. Going over to page 72, over the years, whenever I consulted with agents, so Gary Keller is talking about interviewing real estate agents, which is what Gary Keller does. It's a consultation. And Gary Keller would tell you that's his job description. Over the years, whenever I consulted with agents, I always probed for the ways they thought. When they would tell me about their current production level, I wouldn't pronounce it as good or bad, but simply asked how they felt about it. I asked them why they chose real estate and what kept them going. Boy, that's a good question. What keeps you going? Before 30 minutes was up, I could usually identify at least one of the 9 ways that had evaded them. Now, make no mistake about it, while some of the ways the millionaire real estate agent thinks are more vital than others, all are essential to creating a high level of success all are essential to creating a high level of success that can weather storms and the test of time. Boy, that's important. Are things always going to be easy?
No.
When you're on a path, absolutely, Camille. When you're on a path with a destination that is assured, and that path is on a destination that is a big goal, are things going to get hard? Yes. Are things going to get really, really hard? Are you going to be tempted to give up? And what pulls you through? Think powered by a big why. We've discovered that one thing all high achievers have in common is they are working for a big why. The big why is about having a purpose, a mission, or a need that in turn gives you focus. So here's a couple notes I want you to write down. Focus and energy are the biggest drivers to success, not time. Focus and energy are the biggest drivers to success, not time. Here's another note I want you to write down. A big why powered by focus and energy on the right actions equals success. Okay, going over to page 73. Because a big why brings big focus and big energy, and a little why brings little focus and little energy. High achievers always have a big why. So the question I want you to write down to yourself is, what motivates me? If I were having a coaching conversation with, let me pick somebody on the screen. I'm going to go to page 2 of my screen here. If I asked Eddie, what motivates you? And he answered that question. My next question would be, why? Why does that motivate you? And he would answer my question. And then my next comment would be, convince me. Now it's Eddie's job to convince me that that big why is important enough to pull him through. For the next couple of minutes, I'd like you to just think about what really motivates you. Then write your thoughts down on a piece of paper. And that's an exercise for you to do later. It's something you should do daily. When you focus, meditate on what really motivates me. Why is that important? Bottom of the page. Most people are driven by a number of reasons, and a lot of little whys can add up to a very big why. So if you're having a hard time identifying the big why, don't worry. A lot of little whys will add up to a big why, and that's powerful enough to pull you through. Going over to page 74, for me, business goals are always part of a larger personal strategy designed to push me to my limits and make me grow. Note, I don't work for money. I don't work for money. Page 75. Any money I've made is simply a byproduct of my constant pursuit of personal growth. Money is a byproduct of a life focused on service. Money is a byproduct of a life focused on service and personal growth. All right, so I'm going to skip over to page 78, and then I'm going to take you guys off mute. We're going to have a conversation. Think big goals and big models. The second foundational way the millionaire real estate agent thinks is to think big goals and big models. The power behind big goals is really about the power of acquiring big habits. By beginning with the end in mind. Read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and read Begin with the End in Mind. It's powerful. The professional habits you build will either empower or restrict you. So the next question I want you to write down that you're asking yourself is, are my habits empowering me or are my habits restricting me? Page 79, the habits that you create will either help you reach your goals or hamper your attempts. Warren Buffett points out that most people discover too late the chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Big goals and big models also have a powerful magnetic effect. They pull us through. Big goals and big models also have a powerful magnetic effect. They pull us through all the smaller goals along the way. Take yourself off mute, guys, and talk to me. What did you hear?
I enjoy because I've felt this way for a while, and I'm actually in sort of a position like this that I don't do what I do necessarily for the money. And the money's, like you said, is a byproduct of it. I do it because I love it. You know, for the last 3 years, I've basically been the supervising broker in my office.
Okay.
And I don't really get a whole lot of compensation for it. I'm negotiating on how to do that. But again, it's not about the money so much. I mean, the money allows me to do other things.
Yep.
I really do it because I love it. I mean, I get more exposure to more deals than most of the other agents in my office. You know, I'm a 10x producer just on the number of deals that I get exposed to, and that just helps me leverage my knowledge even more. So that's the way I look at it. You know, right now I'm negotiating on sort of a compensation on it just to allow me to do the other things because it is hampering my own business.
Okay.
But it's not about the money.
No.
It's not why I do it. It's because I really do love it and I really enjoy it.
Yeah. I love hearing that, Michael. And that is playing the infinite game. Another great book, Simon Sinek. And when you're playing an infinite game, the game never ends, right, Michael? If it did, what would you do then?
Right. Yep. Yeah. No. I've been approached with other things, and I'm like, no, this is what I like, and I can't imagine it ending. Like you said, it really is an infinite game.
Yes, sir, it is. Yeah. So Karen and a few others have commented in reference to the Facebook page, and someone commented that they didn't know there was a group. Well, there wasn't until this morning. I just created it. So it's called Survive to Thrive Community Group. That's it. All right, guys, talk to me.
Oh, here. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I got a big aha. John, you know me a little bit. I think I was completely in fear of finances, and I need to change my focus. That was a huge thing for me, what you said. It's about the progress, and what motivates me is success. It's not the money. And I'm constantly, I haven't gotten a listing, so I'm constantly in fear, and I have to change my mindset. I have to just do the work that whether I make money or not, I have to keep going. And that was the big thing for me this morning.
Cool, Michelle. And let me just add on to that. When you do the activities daily, when you focus on the 9 ways a millionaire real estate agent thinks and think progress, you will always eventually achieve your goals.
Okay.
Success
it's not in my time, though. It hasn't been my time.
Well, success is guaranteed. And I'm going to tell you one other thing, and some of you will like this, some of you won't. Success is also a choice. We choose to succeed, which means we also choose to fail. And why would anybody choose to fail?
Because you give up and don't keep trying.
Jada, that's exactly correct. My point is, why would you do that?
Right, you don't.
Good job. Good job. Yeah.
But some of it also has to do with how you feel about being worthy.
Well, Allie, you were designed for greatness. You were engineered for accomplishment. You are 100% worthy. God put you on this earth for greatness. He didn't put He didn't put anybody on this earth and say, oh, that person's going to be mediocre. Yeah, I designed them to be mediocre. Yeah. Oh, they're living a mediocre life. Cool. That's what I made them to be. No. Two more. I know as soon as I say that, you guys are going to quit talking, right? Two more.
Along those same lines, John, I think for me, what I first began to look at when I joined Keller Williams is I keep looking at those without. So it's kind of like you shouldn't have this big life because so many people don't have. And that plays a lot in my mind.
Ooh, let's flip the switch. Let's flip the switch. Say that again, please. We're going to end with this, guys. Let's flip the switch. Say that to me one more time, Shirley, because this is powerful.
Along the same lines, I think it was Allie who just mentioned not worthy. It's not that I don't feel I'm not worthy. If I feel it's still there, it's lighter, but I do feel like don't have this big life because there are so many people without. Even when I can live lavishly, I've deliberately chosen not to. And I'm not saying like not being humble and all of that. I'm just saying it's like so many people are without, and that plays in my mind a lot.
Okay, so Shirley, just hang in there with me and answer a couple questions. If you were to live an extraordinary big life and achieve amazing goals, would you help people
Absolutely.
with your success?
Absolutely.
These people who don't have the life that you do, and you're feeling guilt for living an incredible life, and you don't want to live an even more incredible life because there's so many people doing without. How many of those people could you help if you lived a bigger life?
I'm learning. And that's why I like to say, even though we're in this platform with real estate is bigger than real estate, because what I've learned amongst COVID, someone that I knew was able for local businesses, they were able to cover their mortgage for a few months. Well, surely had you taken advantage of your opportunities, you would be able to do that for your community. For those who have lost their jobs, had I taken advantage of my opportunities to own real estate, I can be able to house, it may not be the whole world, but a few people, and they don't have to worry about it. So it's mindset. I'm learning.
Yeah, 100%. And Eddie put in the chat, and inspire people with our success. I agree, Eddie. For anybody who's ever been on a boat, which I think is pretty much everybody on this call, you've got this wake behind the boat, and you know that wake has a powerful effect, that things are actually caught up in the wake and pulled along with the boat. And then when you are living a really big life and you are living a life of passion, people are caught up in your wake. So the question is, who can I take with me on this journey? And Shirley, I would simply tell you, not only do you deserve to live an incredible life, you have an obligation to.
It's a matter of like flipping the script like what you just did. People ask me, well, what can you write off when you have a small business? I said, no, stop looking at it that way. Look at it in a way of, how can I write this off? How can I write off the things I knew? You know, our income allows us to have that freedom that we might not otherwise have.
Yeah. Good job, Michael.
I think Pamela's trying to say something. She's muted.
Pamela, take yourself off mute. Talk to me. Maybe not.
I want to say something.
Please do, Lorena.
Well, I have a couple that they came from Argentina and a few days ago, and they was like changing all the time what they want. and I was there to help them, and I know them for a lot of years, and I wanted to help them. But in one point, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. And it's like, okay, just let it go, whatever they decide is okay. And I put one step back because they're driving me crazy. And after they decided, and the happiness that they, and the grateful that they was with me was so worth it, you know, that I helped them. And I felt so good that I was just a tool to help them to come here, that I told you, you know what? Doesn't matter where you are going to rent or to buy the apartment, at least you are here. This is the most important thing. You came and now relax, and was so powerful because in one point I didn't care about what they are going to do. Just they came and I helped them to come here, you understand? From Argentina to here. So they are here and that's it. Whatever happens after doesn't matter. So I felt so good. And I think this is the most important thing, that we can separate ourselves from what money we are going to receive. It's just, we are a tool to help the people to arrive to their goals and their dreams. And whatever happens after, it's okay.
Well done. Very well done. Very well done. Pamela, by the way, you are rocking away up there on mute. I have no idea what you're doing. She is going to town, isn't she, Alex? Okay. Listen, guys, time to get to work. It is 8:38, lead generation time. Cool. 20 conversations, not 19, not 18. 20 is a standard. The 19th conversation could be $1 million listing that you didn't get because you settled for 18. Don't settle. The purpose of lead generation is to build relationships, make care calls, not sale calls. The focus is either to get a face-to-face appointment with someone who is thinking of buying or selling a home, or to add somebody to your database, or get a referral. And remember, build relationships. And finally, fill your pipeline with opportunity, and then follow up forever. Follow up forever means forever. Reject rejection. No is not a word that lives in your vocabulary, and make it a great day. See you
Are you
tomorrow.
feeling better, John?
Better. I see a GI specialist tomorrow. Looking for good news. And
Yeah.
until then,
Well,
focus.
prayers
Focus.
from me
Thank you
to
for
you.
that.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
God
John.
bless.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, John. Thank you,
Well.
John.
Being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, my pleasure.